voicemail. Hold on. There I am. And we are back. Or should I say, hello, I am Low Energy Videos. And this slightly crunched in person, I don't like how squeezed you are, but you've lost 10 pounds, so, good for you.
Oh, good. Thanks.
It is Dapper Dinosaur in his skin
Hello.
suit.
Yeah, it's itchy and gross, but whatever.
Oh, same Dino, same. I'm dealing with I don't know, I think it might be the whatever I used to clean this, making me a little on the itchy side.
Got an allergy?
I don't think so. I mean, I've been wearing this thing on and off for years. I guess it could even be due for a clean, but doesn't smell it. Smells like anything but lavender, because it does not smell like lavender, because that would be very bad for a certain person. Not me though.
No.
Sweet, sweet, not lavender. But yeah, I just thought we'd chill for a bit rather than me just gaming myself or watching a bunch of videos. I'll actually have someone on for a change because it has been a hot minute since I just gave you guys a stream without some gimmick. But the gimmick, in this case, I suppose the gimmick is just having a guest on for the first time in a good while.
I mean, it seems kind of like a gimmick, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just a reminder to myself that solipsism is not the answer. There are other people out there. But,
No, they're all figments of your imagination.
you see, I say that, and then the other figments say, no, that's bad. And then I'm
Yeah,
like,
but that's just what a figment would say.
right. Um, the and at the end of the day, I could just keep listening to it, or I could follow my own path and realize that some of them are figments and some of them are real.
Ooh.
Yeah, but who are who? Ooh, you're gonna.
Oh, the people that you don't like are all figments.
That would explain so many people online who are just pricks.
See, I got it all figured out.
No, you mean I got it all figured out?
Well, only if you don't like me, in which case I'm a figment. But if you do, then I'm not a figment, and I actually do have it all figured out.
Where do neutral people land? Like people you don't have an opinion on one way or another.
50-50. Coin toss.
Yeah, they're shades of gray. They're
Yeah.
they're 90s Two-Face. Go right down the middle.
Right. Ah, good old Two-Face.
God. I loved it. I absolutely loved the animated series as a kid, and so did my
It
mom.
was good.
Still my favorite Batman, Kevin Conroy.
Hi, we got Ashley and Sapphire Light.
Oh, he is. I suppose I should do the standard shill. Throughout the show, please like, share, and subscribe if you want to check out my Discord in the description. And, also my other links. I game, and sometimes, very rarely, I live up to my moniker and actually make videos. I just made one on my trip to Edinburgh. That was...
But you didn't put too much energy in it, did you?
Oh, God, no. I save all my energy for debating with myself whether or not solipsism is the answer. I'm like the Lovecraftian super god that's always asleep, and all the other ones. Yeah, they have to keep him asleep, or else if he wakes up, the universe will end.
Yeah.
I have you ever had those moments where like you've gone through so many similar days that you're almost certain that you could predict something was about to happen, and then it did.
Is that today for you?
No, but I'd say maybe 3 weeks ago. It felt like I was in a montage of somebody like just getting really, really depressed with just their daily grind. There should be a really sort of ironically upbeat song playing in the montage. Like, I don't know, Dolly Parton. But anyway, seeing that it's behind you, is there any way of showing off the glory to the Emperor there? Or is that the Omnicide?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, it's the
It's
Omnicide.
more of the Omniscient. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was my art project that I did over the weekend. So one of the ways that I kick back and blow off steam is I'll just open up like Blender or something, and I'll just start working on some art. So with this, I found a 3D scan of a Battlefleet Gothic model. Um, and so I use that for the basic proportions and where things should go in terms of like weapons and the various like the hangar bay and whatnot. And yeah, I just started. I mean, it's mostly box modeling. Um, there's a little bit of fancier stuff here and there with some like object constraints and a little bit of geometry nodes on some of the like buttresses that form like a round shape in like the middle towards the top. But for the most part, it's all just box modeled pretty simply. And yeah, I just kept working on it for basically Sunday and Monday, and then I did a little tiny bit of touch up on Tuesday after I finished doing some writing, and then basically I just didn't have much to do until my show, so then I did a little bit of touch up, mostly with the texturing, and there you go. Now I have a little frigate owned by the Mechanicus that I'm going to end up using as an asset for the Wrath and Glory game I plan on running after I finish my Star Trek TTRPG, because as the title says, I am in fact a nerd, as is very obvious.
It if rum and coke didn't already show that off, like what was 90% of it was just us talking about fucking media.
True.
Um, it's solid. Like you got some genuine skill on this shit. I can't draw for shit. I used to like writing a little bit, but nothing crazy. Um, I have some. I'm really lucky though to know a lot of artists, and a lot of them like 40k stuff, and they like going crazy. What's your do you have a particular fave army? Do you have a particular fave faction? Like what's
So I have a few that I quite like. I think I have. So I think in terms of, I have a few favorites. So I quite like, rather obviously, Space Marines are fun. I think if you don't like Space Marines, you're probably just not going to like 40k, even though they are vastly overrepresented in terms of like how often they pop up in the lore versus how often they're supposed to pop up according to the lore. But you know, um, I also quite like Necrons. I think they're a lot of fun. I like,
they've been getting revamped the past few years really well because now they have
yeah,
personalities.
yeah. Actually, there's been some pretty decent books focusing on them too that have kind of expanded the lore and the characterization for the Necrons. And plus, I mean, I like the sort of the aesthetic of Terminator-looking space Egyptian skeletons. It's a fun look, and I like a lot of the stuff like where they've got like interdimensional space folding nonsense technology, and
The
like instead of
Dolmen
having a flame,
Gates.
yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, instead of having a flamethrower, they just open up a small portal to the inside of a star and shoot out star plasma from the core of a star at you. And like that's absurd and over the top in the ways that I really like.
Mm.
Um, I do rather like Chaos Space Marines. I think I tend to actually most like the Chaos Undivided Legions. So I think my favorite legions are actually like the Night Lords and the Iron Warriors are probably my two
Yes,
favorite.
Iron Warriors are my favorite. Did you see that animation of the them fighting the Dark Eldar?
Yes, Iron Within. I did see that one. I
Yes,
liked it.
that's some good solid shit.
I
How
actually
that?
played it on my Discord. So after my streams, we have a quick little movie night after the streams where we watch. Right now, we're going through all the Godzilla stuff, and we're up to the point where the next thing we're gonna watch is Godzilla -1.
Oh,
But after one of those days, I just stuck around. I was like, I'm gonna watch Iron Within. I put that on, and a few of us just stuck around and watched Iron Within.
I I absolutely. I've always loved just how grumpily not effective, but consistent Iron Warriors are compared to all the other insanity that the Chaos Marines have. They're still just
Yeah,
professional sourpusses They don't like anything. They're just Perturabo is King Grumpy on Grumpy Mountain in down Grumpy Lane. Like he's just
Yeah.
so. But and I do love also Night Lords when they're done really well. What was that really good Night Lords book from a few years back? The night, not the Night Hunter, was
Oh,
it? Um, the cover is just a Night Lord silhouetted through like a door.
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what the title
Yeah, I
of it though.
remember reading that one time. Actually, that is my favorite Night Lords book, but my favorite Iron Warriors one is Iron Within, where they're besieging that Imperial Fist fortress. And you get to see a siege in a 40k setting from the chaos standpoint, which is really cool how they
Yeah.
operate. Um, uh, Someone asked about orcs. What's your stance on orcs?
So I think orcs are a lot of fun. Um, in terms of like a lot of the lore is goofy. They're fun to meme on. I I've never played as them on the tabletop, and I don't really have any plans to get. I guess I played alongside them. I did play as a Chaos Demon army with a friend who was playing as orcs in a doubles tournament that we won. So I don't know if that counts as playing as them. As playing alongside them. So there's
You
that.
you were playing Winter Assault, you know?
Yeah, basically. Our strategy was that. So this was back when Chaos Demons all deep struck onto the board in starting in turn one. So this was several editions ago, right? And so what we would do is we would have my buddy would set up a few basically like distraction trucks, and so he just has some trucks full of just like some boys. It was really not anything very impressive for the orc army, right?
Mm.
But the idea was to get our opponent to get out of position before all my demons started showing up. And they would go into positions that were inconvenient for the opponents as they were already distracted by all these trucks barreling down on them. And it turns out that was actually pretty effective because, like, at the time, you couldn't usually get a charge off in the same turn that you deep struck.
Mm.
So, I would have the orcs playing cover for me basically, while I have things like my bloodletters and plague bearers and uh, what are the flying things from Zeech?
Uh
What are they called?
oh, not the pink horrors, are they?
No, the ones that fly. They
They
look
look
like
like
manta rays or
rays.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I killed like
they would
hundreds of
pop in.
them when I was playing Bolt Gun, but can't remember.
What a good game.
Oh, Bolt Gun is so fun. I'm looking forward to the sequel where you're playing as the Sister of Battle.
Yeah, actually, Vulcan was on sale not too long ago, and it was like really cheap. So I just bought it for Chesh, and she played it for the first time not that long ago.
Ah, awesome. Has she
Yeah,
played the Words
so
of Vengeance yet?
I don't think she has, or at least she hasn't told me that she has. I did tell her it exists. I did play that. That was a lot of fun. It was goofy, but that's kind of the thing, right? I think one of the things that people forget is that Warhammer can and should be goofy sometimes,
I
because too
mean,
many people are into like,
original
oh, it's a super
40k
serious dark.
was
Yeah,
just
it's a lot of goofy stuff.
ridiculous stuff. Do you watch
You remember the
Pancreas No Work?
sometimes?
Did you see his video on original like first edition like post Rogue Trader sort of lore of that?
Yeah,
It's
it's
brilliant.
very goofy.
Um, like
Do you
Space
remember
Marines just being
Warhammer's?
police.
Yeah. Do you remember Warhammer's first named Inquisitor?
It's not it's not like Hercule Poirot or something, is it?
It's Inquisitor Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau.
Clouseau, yeah.
Yep.
Oh
I
God.
still think we need an Inquisitor Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau novel. Let's go.
Yeah,
It
have him.
can't be as bad as Inquisition Wars.
I think I have that on my shelf over there. Is that the one that ends
Rough.
up with the Inquisitor talking to the Emperor?
I think it does actually. Yeah. What I remember most about it was all sorts of weirdly, um, weirdly unnecessary sexualization of Tyranids.
Yeah, the assassin. Which is the assassin temple that alters their bodies to infiltrate? Um,
Um, it's not the Vindicator. It's not the Plexus. It's the Oh, why can't her? Why am I having like my brain is just melting today?
well, she was sent to a gene stealer cult to basically infiltrate it before the Magos went like, well, Magos being someone the Hive Fleet, but she had to be altered in a way that couldn't ever unalter her, and she just had to play the part of a cultist for like years before she could strike, and then
Oh,
afterwards she has
Calidus.
Was it Calido?
Calidus
Oh,
assassins.
Calidus. Okay. Um, and she just ended up like hanging out and popping up. I remember her just showing up as background characters, and all the other ones were like, "So, why do you look like a monster?" You know, like they were all just.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then for some reason, our Inquisitor is like, nope, gotta hit that, and it's like, that's weird. That whole
it's
thing is weird.
it's weird, but it's 40K. You can technically do whatever you want.
I don't know. I feel like if someone wrote a book about someone who was really into fucking Tyranids in current year 2026 Warhammer lore, that person would be very much on the heretic list.
Sure, but you can end up becoming the bottom in an S&M relationship with a Dark Eldar and Rogue Trader. So you know,
That's true, but I feel like you're even then you're not. You probably shouldn't let that be widely known in the Imperium.
well, no, that's probably when you're going down your iconoclast. Kind of weird if you were both a Puritan and getting gimped by by a true
By the Dark
coward.
Eldar, yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Um, I've seen Tyranid romance memes. Oh, there was this one story with Caiaphas Cain where he helped raid a brothel that was because the Imperium, of course, the Ministralum, they run brothels, which that would be something that they would do, and they all the sex workers have something like always pink or purple about them, and you're thinking, oh, it's a Slaneshi thing, and then they all turn, no, they're intentionally infecting them with basically gene stealer STDs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Bred in the Gene Stealer cult.
yeah, it is gene stealing. So
I mean, the Gene Stealer cult basically starts off primarily by just reproducing,
it's
right?
species, isn't it? That's the name of the movies.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically species. Yep. So like the idea is, the initial Gene Stealer ends up on a planet, and it abducts some people, and it uses its tongue to implant some kind of virus that sort of like inserts into their genomes to create the first generation Gene Stealer hybrids. And then as they go on, it also gives them a drive to reproduce. And so then as they go on and have kids, they get more and more Gene Stealer hybrids, and then those start spreading seditious revolutionary ideas like, hey, what if you could have a day off? Or what if instead of having a dictatorial planetary governor, we could vote to see who's the planetary governor? And then eventually, after spreading such horrible seditious ideas as like days off, or say like, I don't know, even equal rights, eventually the Tyranid hive mind notices that there's so many gene stealer hybrids and starts directing a tendril towards them. And right as the hive fleet's gonna start showing up, the gene stealer cults erupt in the name of things like justice and equality and democracy,
And the
creating
eight, what was it?
chaos and havoc.
The eight-armed emperor or whatever, the six-armed
Four-armed.
emperor, oh, four-armed emperor, right?
Yep.
Who will uplift them, and the way they're talking. This is just basically. Do you know who the Template Institute is?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see this one?
Which one is that one? Gene stealer cults. I did not see that one.
All right. I won't watch the whole. We won't watch the whole video, but they made their own very interesting and dare I say intriguing promotional video.
Promotional video. Okay.
You can hear it, okay?
This investigation is kindly sponsored by the community of global wellness. Now more than ever, our world can feel like an overwhelming place. Everyday stresses affect our mental well-being and prevent our ability to work or just live in a meaningful way. If you're looking to stop just surviving and instead build a life of purpose, harmony, and joy, find out more about the community of global wellness at the end of this video.
All right. So they explain throughout the video what gene stealer cults are, how the process goes, and right at the end, boop 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 boop.
Thanks again to the community of global wellness for sponsoring this video. I think we've all had moments in our lives where we just don't feel like we're living up to our potential. The modern world can be an exciting and fulfilling place, but only when we learn to put aside distractions and really focus on what matters. Of course, sometimes it's hard to know what that even is. For over 7 years, the community of global wellness has helped hundreds of thousands of people just like you discover what's right, what's real, and what's ideal. Visit any of our hundreds of wellness centers in countries across the globe, and you'll instantly feel the palpable sense of excitement and energy of a grand vision that's rapidly coming to life. In our planned communities, friendships spark and groups gather. Shows and events create a true celebration of old world leisure and sophistication, where refinement and culture triumph over the little indignities of daily life.
It's
Everywhere there is a sense
bland
of
and
rhythm and balance,
non-threatening, isn't it?
that life and nature are finally aligned. The community of global wellness is looking for highly cultured, business-leading, and fashion-forward bon vivants. We're looking for someone like you, and joining our community has never been easier. Forget waitlists. Forget long-winded questionnaires. The only thing standing between you and a life of purpose is, well, you. So if you'd like to experience the peace of mind that comes with living a life of intention, all you have to do is mark your door with this symbol. A representative of the community of global wellness will be with you sooner than you think.
It sounds legit. It sounds like they're just trying to live up to their potential. Dare I say their genetic potential?
Yeah, it's a little cultish.
Just a smidge. The fuck is a bon
A bon vivant?
A bon vivant?
It means a good living. So someone who enjoys life or is living the good life. It's French.
Yeah,
So
that would be my heretic detector. French, you say? Well, hold on a second.
No one who speaks French can be trusted.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's a guarantee. After all, as once was proudly said, no one who speaks German could be an evil man.
Thanks, The Simpsons.
Die Bart, die.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I find it interesting that how long has this revolt been that they managed to paint their stolen equipment so well? They normally just slap on the nearest paint with just a logo like that and call it a day, but you know, maybe it's been going on.
Maybe like the Planetary Defense Force already had red and white as their general colors.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like, there's occasional stories that are really cool, like when there was that world that had a long-running gene stealer cult that also was infiltrated by the Tau, and they had this three-way fight to take over the planet. And all
and the Dark Eldar showed up.
That was a different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, actually, it probably happened in the same war because the Dark Elder showed up for the Tau and was like, let's have a cultural exchange.
Yeah. Hey, what if you loan us some ethereals and we'll give them back? And they did give them back as one amalgamated flesh monstrosity in constant agony.
I also like that hive world that was just attacked one night and everyone was gone, but there's just like no food was touched, the lights were still on, everyone just like vanished. You gotta wonder what they did. Hell, even in Kimura, they say it here. the fucking the ones who craft the flesh, not homunculi, are they?
Yeah, homunculi. Yep.
Uh, they start grafting Tyranid DNA onto them just for the sake of it, and now they're hearing voices. I want to start communing to the
Ooh.
fucking to like the hive mind. It
Probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I think they just got lazy because they've been around for like 40,000 years and they're just really bored.
Well, I mean, the Dark Eldar, as the Dark Eldar, have only really been around for about 10,000 years.
Yeah, but the homuncula have been around for much longer. Some of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some of
Um,
them. Although, hey, they're also some of the only ones who have any chance of being able to fix the Golden Throne.
that's true. And they may know where Jagatai Khan is.
They probably do. Of course, we'll probably find out here in the next few years.
Yeah,
Because my guess is they won't skip out on the possibility of selling people a Jagatai Khan model for 40K.
I've just started to reread one of the Dark Angel books for the Horus Heresy, and knowing now about the whole Ark of Omen shit, like I'm gonna have to go back and like scan over this shit. But already Cypher's shown up, and I'm already starting to hear like edgelord music playing every time like Cypher's mentioned. Just from Texas speech where he's monologuing over him, over how he's so much cooler than everyone else on screen.
Oh, Cypher, what a weird character.
I've got a bolt pistol and a plasma pistol. I'm cool.
Pew, 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 pew. He's just Danny DeVito. So anyway, I started blasting.
Oh, you know he would be banned from so many Xbox chat rooms.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised it took so long to get the Lion and Rabute to even like send each other a message.
Well, they're doing that because they just will probably well, actually, I was reading stuff about Loot. I was watching a video from Luton a few days ago, and he did address that, and it was something like they don't really have like this like really well put together shit over in Black Library of everyone like working together. That's why you get storylines have to be retconned and shit. Like the first Dark Imperium book had to be retconned. And I recently read it for the first time, and there's a disclaimer at the front of it that just says this was made before this other book came out and contradicted it, and then we had to go back and do this. And apparently that happens a lot post Fall of Cadia and later Horus Heresy books. It's bloat. It's just bloat at this point, especially the Horus Heresy. My fucking god.
Yeah, it went ballooned out to what, like 65 books or something crazy like that?
Not counting the Siege of Terra.
Yeah, not counting the Siege of Terra. One of the things is like, okay, I get that you guys are making a lot of money from pumping out all these books, and the books do help sell armies, right?
Yes.
Because good novels for factions help get people into the faction, and then they want to paint the faction, and so they go and buy the faction. Got it. But like, you got to have someone who's in charge of like managing story and who has stuff run by them for like continuity checks and whatnot. Because like, okay, I get the idea that everything is going to have to some degree a non-reliable narrator, but like there has to be some idea of what's actually happening behind the scenes so that at least the narrations from relatively similar points of views can be coherent. Because like, I get it. Okay, if you write a Horus Heresy book from the standpoint of like, I don't know, like Magnus the Red versus one from the standpoint of like, I don't know, Rogel Dorn. Those two might not agree on exactly what happened at every point in the Horus Heresy. Great. But sometimes it's like, major stuff is like, hey, who was there? Does this, like, where did events happen? When did events happen? There should be some kind of consistency. Sort of like they used to have for, and maybe they still have it, but like, remember back when what's now Star Wars Legends was just the expanded universe?
Yeah.
They had people who were checking that stuff, and they weren't perfect, but they were checking it, and major events from one book wasn't going to be contradicted in the next book. And I don't know. I feel like maybe Games Workshop needs to get some people whose job it is to keep a lore Bible
They
that is
did.
constantly updated.
It was Gav Thor, wasn't it? That was his
Well,
job.
then why isn't he doing it now?
Because he probably can't keep up. They probably need a few of them. Um,
Yeah, that's get a
yeah.
council.
Um, it's like in Elder Scrolls, they have a lore master, and he does a okay job. But ever since ESO came out, yeah, a lot of what was canon, especially from Morrowind, is kind of it's whatever, you know. And
Yep.
then you have people like say George Lucas with Star Wars. He is the Lord Master. What even with Disney, if he wants something changed, it will be changed, and damn the consequences. So goodbye KOTOR with that amazing sequel and all the stuff that all the stuff that came with it. No, we're gonna have Jar Jar Binks. I would prefer if we didn't have Jar Jar Binks, but um, and I'm not.
George with Jar. What is it with him and Jar Jar? Why does he like Jar Jar so much?
I don't know, but he proudly said in an interview once that he's is his favorite character, and I'm like, why? You
Oh,
made Boba Fett. What the fuck is wrong with you, old man?
the game 7 Degrees of from Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
I'm 2 degrees from the guy who voiced Jar Jar Binks.
What, like cousin or something like that?
No, just someone I happen to know knows and is actually friends with that guy.
Oh, dope.
Yep.
Um, I, you know,
I
I
actually know a few people who've worked on Star Wars. So, actually, no, I know one main person who's done some work on Star Wars. So that during the prequel era. So I'm basically 2 to 3 degrees of separation from more or less everyone from the prequel era.
uh, did that happen before or after you started doing online properly? Like,
I met this person after I was online. I was doing like a lot of YouTube stuff.
and did you meet them directly through doing YouTube?
Um, I met them through someone I met doing directly through doing YouTube. So it was like a roundabout connection, but yeah.
Oh, there's a handful of people I've met online who could be threaded to every major and minor celebrity on the planet. One of which is Billy the Fridge. Another is Landon.
Yeah.
And like they just you just if you could like put a thread out between like their portraits, it would just crystallize over and over, fractals upon fractals of every name. um I was just thinking about
I'm
today
also
that,
within 3 to 4 degrees of pretty much everyone who's worked on Star Trek since Discovery.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
um any let me think. Have you watched all the like every show that's come out?
So let's see. I didn't get past the beginning of season 2 of Discovery. I just gave up. Um, I watched most of season 1 of Picard. Then we got to the bit where we were starting to just behead people, and I was like, no, I'm out. I don't.
I watched.
No, I
Yeah.
skipped over season 2 because, my goodness, do I not want to watch a Star Trek episode where people are running from actual literal ice? Got enough of that in the real world, thank you. I don't need that in my utopian sci-fi. But I did watch season 3, and I really liked season 3 of Picard. I have not started the Starfleet Academy, and I am behind on what is it, Strange New Worlds, and I am caught up. I finished Lower Decks.
Okay. You're a good bit ahead of me. But like you, I kind of stopped Discovery. I'm trying to think. The last episode of Discovery I saw was just after the alternate timeline with the Empress woman and
Yeah,
the war that ended up. I did kind of like the whole Klingon death ships. It gave me a Riddick vibe. But it did also kind of. I didn't like their designs, the Klingon designs, with like their
I think
weird heads.
the problem with design is I don't think that it's a bad design as a design for an alien. It's a bad design for a Klingon.
Yeah.
And there's a difference there. Like if you were like, oh, this is a new sci-fi show, and there's going to be a race of warlike aliens, and this is what they look like, I'd be like, all right, that seems fine. Sure, what not? Sure, they've got weird elongated heads. They've got all sorts of weird wrinkles. They got 4 nostrils, big claws on their fingers. Sure, why not? Let's go for it. That seems fine. But like, then you're like, no, these are the Klingons. I'm like, no. I think the peak Klingons were the Next Generation that established how Klingons look in Star Trek, right? There was a big shift between the TOS and the movies, and then there was a little shift between the movies and TNG. And then they stayed consistent for all of Star Trek, all through Enterprise. And then suddenly there's Discovery was like, but what if actually no hair and weird oblong hands?
Wait,
oblong
consistent
heads
true
and 4 nostrils.
Enterprise? Because, we learned right at the end why they look the way they do, and we don't talk about that to outsiders.
Well, actually, yeah, that actually just basically retroactively made it so that they are actually consistent throughout the entire franchise up until that point. And
I did appreciate them try to tie it together, but if they just left Worf saying that one line and never bringing it up again ever, I would be totally fine with that too.
yeah, I would have too. I mean, we know that the real reason was because the original series had basically no budget, right? So they just were like, okay, we're going to put some makeup that's just going to change your skin tone a little bit. We're going to give you mustache and put you in like metallic looking fabrics. And there you go. Now you're an alien.
And then Gene just stands up and goes, but what if they're a metaphor for everything Asian and different to the West? And people are staring at him and go, can we see a script related to it? I have several. And he did.
Yeah.
That one where the 2 tribes are fighting in a proxy war with the flag, that was a bit...
That was a very on the nose.
That was coded. That was very coded.
Even calling it a code is a bit of a stretch. That was just very, very blatant. Even the gangs had a copy of the friggin' Declaration of Independence from the United States of America. Like, come on.
They did, but like they put more effort into their Nazi episode, because at least that was an artificial thing he brought to that world.
Part of it is they did a little bit more effort with the writing, but also part of it was just they were doing that because the studio had the sets and the costumes and the props lying around from a previous production of something else.
And the stock footage. Don't forget that. Same with that great animation from the 70s, Wizards. All right. What did you think about what did you think about DS9 when it came out compared to thinking about it decades later?
I mean, I'm not even sure I remember what I thought about it at first. Trying to think back to, like, because that was the last few seasons of TNG airing, last couple seasons or so. I don't remember disliking it. I do remember thinking that I liked Next Generation better, and was wondering, like, how the show was going to... I was giving it a chance, if I remember correctly. Like, well, let's see what happens. And I think pretty common with a lot of shows, that first season was... It had its ups and downs.
Yes. Was it at the end of the season one where Sisko shaved his head? Or that was
I know it was
2?
around that. So I'm pretty sure he had the shaved head in season 2. I don't remember if the transition happened between seasons like it did with Riker's beard, or if it was like towards the end of one season. I don't know. He's obviously looks better with the shaved head. I think.
Hell yeah.
Bald Avery Brooks he definitely has a different presence than the close crop hair.
Ever see him in
I don't know.
American History X when he's like I think he's like a principal or something, and he knows exactly what this kid's problem is, and he just cuts through it by giving him like these on the surface very like rough like things like, oh, you know, this is what the court wants you to do, this is what juvenile wants you to do, well, you're gonna fucking do it, and you're gonna thank me for it later. And he's fucking right. Like, he's bald in that one too.
Yeah. Look, Avery Brooks, stay bald. It works for you.
Oh God, do you
Not
remember
that
that?
Avery Brooks is ever gonna watch this.
Yeah, that's good to Avery now, just sitting in his living room. I'm already on it, man. Do you remember that great episode where he thinks of like the Amazing Stories office in the 1950s, and they're
Yeah.
all the people are playing characters who are just references to like real golden and silver age like writers of the time. Uh, that was great. I really liked when Star Trek would have these sort of like flashback episodes. There would only be one in the whole show. Like, wasn't for Voyager, Janeway was like a librarian who wanted to keep no, a bookstore owner, and she wanted to keep her store.
Yeah. It was like her
Yeah,
ancestor or something.
that's right. Um,
Yep. We had
oh,
the Enterprise one where T'Pol's like grandmother goes to Earth and invents like Velcro or something as a thing that happened
which is
apparently.
weird because Scotty invented Velcro, if I remember right.
No, Scotty just thinks he invented Velcro, but also I'm pretty sure he invented a transparent aluminum.
You're right. Yeah, yeah. And then he goes like, "Well, who's to say he did? This guy didn't create it. Just casually altering the very fabric of time and space. Where is that goddamn secret agent with the damn cat? To come in at any moment.
Oh yeah, Gary 7 or Gary 9?
Yeah, that was
Oh, what
a.
was the number?
Did you ever read the Eugenics War? It was trying to tie in late 80s and modern 90s politics to the rise of Khan and the other superior Homo sapiens who tried to like take over the world in warlord eras, and it somehow
I
then
haven't read it.
ties into like the Third World War, and it doesn't pan out, but he plays a major role in it because he has to kind of put his hands up and go like, well, mission failed, Earth is fucked, and then he just gets into like watching it from orbit. And he's just there like, well, we tried, ISIS.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, actually, so his office did end up in an episode of Star Trek Prodigy.
oh,
Yeah, in Star Trek Prodigy, Wesley Crusher takes our heroes to escape from the monsters that are chasing them throughout like the collapsing timeline. And one of the places that they stop for a second so he can tell them what's going on, so that he can be an exposition dump for the audience, is in fact Gary Seven's office.
all right.
So it did get referenced again.
Do you have a favorite Star Trek movie?
I mean, 2 is really good. The Wrath of Khan is probably one of the best ones. Um, I like 3 more than I think most people do, although I don't think it's my favorite.
I like ending with the Klingons in 3.
Yeah,
Praxis being
Christopher Lloyd is a
destroyed.
very good Klingon.
Wait, no, wait. Is that the one where?
Praxis is number 6.
Oh, is it
Yeah. Hmm.
6? I thought 6 was the one with
Yep.
the Spock's brother.
Nope, that's 5.
Oh, okay. What does God
So
need? What a
the
starship.
original one is the one with the guy who turns out to have been a gigantic sex pest as the captain of the Enterprise
Oh
before
yeah.
he emerges with V'ger.
I still
Um,
think of just the endless shot of the Enterprise that just keeps going on and on and doesn't nothing
on and on.
happens.
Yep.
And 2 is Khan.
Apparently, there was originally a cut with even more of those shots.
Yep, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, 2 is Khan. 3 is the search for Spock with Christopher Lloyd as the Klingon who's looking for the Genesis device.
That's right. Yes, and he's also the one that kind of like spawned the Klingon language, isn't he? Like he's the first people to actually say them on screen.
So, kind of. Mark Leonard spoke some lines in the original movie that were written for him by James Doohan that were just gibberish, but they were folded into the constructed language that Mark Okrand made for Star Trek 3. And so technically, because those lines from the motion picture were folded in, you could say that Mark Leonard is the first one to speak proper Klingon, but at the time it wasn't, so it's just retroactive. If you're doing like who's the first one to speak Klingon in Star Trek 3, I believe it's Valkyris who's the first one to actually speak any Klingon. She's the one that's sort of the liaison with the freighter pilots that are smuggling the Genesis data to Commander Courage.
You made me think of this. If which I'm sure you've seen it, where it's like that.
Yeah.
It's those video game like the tapes where you'd pause it and then do stuff, right?
Yeah, this one was from Klingon Academy, if I remember correctly.
I'll mute it because even though it's fucking obscure, like the Star Trek gets you claimed and taken down very easily.
Yeah, they do.
But besides, we're all here just to see Garon's fucking mugging of the camera anyway. Giant.
Pretty sure that's where that giant mountain is in the who's the watch time.
Yeah. Dude. No.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Pack lads.
So then Thor is the one with the whales.
Yeah, that meant well, I suppose.
Yep. Then 5 is the one with the first of Spock's heretofore unknown siblings.
Yeah.
Of course, we get a second one.
We do,
Yep.
and she's
Spock.
even more tangential.
Yeah. So then 6 is the one with Praxis exploding. Sulu is Captain Sulu with his own ship.
Ooh, that's a great scene. Chernobyl, space Chernobyl.
Basically, yeah. And then, that's the whole reason why... Actually, in season 1 of The Next Generation, it's not even an implication. Wesley Crusher talks about the Klingons joining the Federation.
Yeah, they hadn't
sort of
really
retcon that
worked
one,
out.
too.
I know some people see him like the second coming of Jesus when it came to Star Trek, but Gene wasn't always the best person to write storylines because he never really got, especially kids, he never really could make children interesting. They were always too wide-eyed and too wondrous and which is weird because he also wanted it. You know this shit way more than I do, but is it true that at one point he wanted human children to have evolved at this point to the point where they don't mourn the death of their parents?
I don't remember that being a thing, but it's possible. Gene always liked to push ideas a little bit to the absurd, and he had interesting ideas as an overarching, like, this is like the broad swath of what I want this show to be and like how I want humanity to be in the future and whatnot. But like when you get down to like the nitty gritty of like the needs of storytelling, he wasn't that great.
No.
Like for one thing,
why DS9
the Next Generation never. Yeah. And even the Next Generation, like it wasn't until he stepped back and therefore the writers were allowed to write bits of interpersonal conflict into the scripts. That's when the Next Generation actually started to get to be good, because it wasn't everyone always agrees with everyone all the time. Because it turns out that in order for a story to happen, you generally need some kind of conflict. And if you just say that none of your main characters can ever have any conflict with each other, well, that just negates a huge amount of the possibility space for story that you could have had.
There was always conflict. I mean, McCoy and Spock never really liked each other. They were always going at each. Well, mostly it was McCoy yelling at him.
They liked each other. They were just rivals.
You green-blooded bastard. I don't think he called him a bastard. He did it in the movie, doesn't he? The green-blooded bastard.
I don't remember the lines well enough to know if he definitely said that specific thing.
But like he's always making references to to Spock's heritage, which is fucking racism. So
Yeah.
Plus that throwaway line, "No wonder your kind were conquered." You know? Wow, you didn't really think that one through, did you?
Didn't have to go there.
Or the very last one with the very last one with one of Kirk's numerous former loves, the lady captain, who couldn't be a captain because of the Starfleet wouldn't allow women to be captains.
Yeah, that was a
Where
thing
the
in the original series.
what? What are you on about?
Yeah.
That's not true at all. You know?
I think the line was something like, "Your world of starship captains doesn't admit women," and it's like, thanks the 70s.
Um, it,
Thanks
that's
the 70s.
that's why I think DS9 hit so much with Cisco's line, like, you look outside the window at Starfleet headquarters and you see paradise. Well, it's pretty nice. What is it? Like, it's pretty nice to have such high values or morals in paradise, but we're a long way from paradise.
Yeah, it's always easier to have all the high-minded morals when everything is fine, when no one's struggling for survival.
Don't worry, the Breen will fix that soon enough.
True.
Or the Zindi for that matter, just making a big cut down through Florida. Hell yeah.
Who needs Florida?
Who needs
really?
Florida? Well, that's true, but they also did get Cuba, and Cuba is kind of cool. So
Actually, recently I've been noticing travel advisories surrounding FIFA for Florida.
yeah, let's
Don't go to Florida.
Well, that's good advice 90% of the time anyway. Just don't go to Florida. It is Florida.
Yeah, it's especially good. Going to Florida right now is sort of like just going to Pyongyang. Like, why would you do that? Just don't do that.
Yeah. But I honestly just can't I need to get back into watching like Star Wars. Star Wars too. I need to getting back into watching Star Wars, but Star Trek. But I really have been feeling the need to get back and rewatch Bab 5. The
It's
Thinking
been a while.
Man's
Actually,
DS9.
I actually never finished the last season because the problem with the last season, right? The season before that was supposed to be the last season.
Yeah,
That was when they were scheduled to
Shadow
be canceled. They wrapped up all the major plot lines, and then the station is like, "Hey, we'd like to order another season." It's like, well, what stories do we have?
Well, they
And
were
that's the
making
problem
the
with that season, is,
sequel.
like, we
They
don't
were
have
going to
any.
do the Rangers.
Yeah, but that's not what ended up happening in the last season.
No, but they did set it up, and they did release that direct to video or direct to DVD one, which was about as much budget as Andromeda. So it didn't really do that well. Not that Bab 5 really could compete anyway with Star Trek.
Yeah,
But I mean,
which is too bad because Babylon 5 is a really good show
oh,
overall.
the storylines that come out of it. Like I've always loved the dichotomy between the Vorlons and the Shadow. They're not good or evil. They're just two extreme views that need to be proved the other one right. Mostly they can impress Daddy God. Who's then like, "I love you both equally." You could have told us that millions of years ago, but okay. You've just been sitting there this whole time.
Yeah.
But like the Centauri, the way that they're on the surface, they're a really cool race, but they're also one of just absolute like xenophobic monsters. Or the Narn, who start off almost like old school Klingons till you realize that they've just been oppressed so much they've become bloodthirsty. The budget never really could live up to what was meant to be shown. That was always annoying. Like the CG was awful at times.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Especially the
Then
really
again,
alien ships.
there's some pretty rough CGI in Enterprise too. So like, Star Trek has its share of really rough CGI.
Well, Enterprise struggled to get made, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it struggled at every turn.
It didn't help that, as Seth MacFarlane called it, it was Das Boat in Space. It wasn't a very fun show. It had fun
I mean, it had
moments.
fun moments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked the Doctor Phlox. He was cool. Um,
there's a reason that I made a Denobulan reference in my most recent game of Star Trek Adventures,
Sweet.
which is available on the Top Hats Off channel. Go subscribe now.
Ooh. Um, I I liked watching chunks of it. But now looking back on it, it's very post 9/11, grimly grim, darky dark.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, I don't even think it's as grim, darkly dark as season 1 of Discovery was.
yeah, I didn't like the aesthetic. You know what? I said it at the time when Discovery was made. This would be a perfectly fine sci-fi, like what you said with the Klingons. It'd be perfectly fine sci-fi show without the Star Trek logo strapped onto it. Just have it as your own IP, and it could work. But I mean, I don't know how much I really find the whole tardigrade thing to be interesting, but at least it's different, I guess.
It's something.
Something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It seems like it was a misstep to me, and I guess I don't know how much money it made or for how exactly what the viewership was. So maybe it was a great success, and I just don't, and it just wasn't for me. But yeah, I had trouble getting through the first season, and then season 2, I was just like, nah, I'm out. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, there was the aesthetics I didn't like because it was set as a prequel of sorts, so everything looked more advanced than Enterprise or Next Gen.
It
And
looked more advanced than Voyager did.
yeah. Let's see what the reception was. Oh, there's a backhanded compliment. Was watched by a decent audience of 9.5. Premiere series led to all access. Critical response 85%. All right. 83. Yeah, look at that number starting to go down.
Yeah, the critics seem to overall like it a lot more than I did, and I think part of that might just be that they weren't judging it as part of Star Trek. They were just watching it as a show in isolation. And maybe if I had been able to watch it as a show in isolation, I would have liked it better. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, like you strap that logo onto the side of it, and now suddenly it's got a lot more baggage to it. I
Yeah, well, that's one of the problems with going into like a long-standing franchise, right? Is there are expectations that all of the people who are long-standing fans of the franchise are going to have, and if you don't meet those people aren't going to be on board.
mm,
So, and a lot of times it seems like people in Hollywood just don't actually care about the people who are the core audience for an adaptation. Like with the Halo show.
oh God,
The Halo show
why?
didn't work because it had nothing to do with Halo. Or not
No.
nothing to do with Halo, but it was so far divergent from what anyone who enjoyed the Halo games would want to see in a show that the one audience that you could already guarantee from the outset, which is a sizable audience, people who liked and played Halo games, that's a lot of people. You've turned all of them off. Why would you do that?
Um, it's the same with the Avatar movie, for the Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it had nothing to do with the setting. Meanwhile, the live action is actually a little bit in the opposite direction. It's too faithful. I think Cody from alternate from Knowledge Hub or Pointless Hub or whatever just said, like, I liked watching Avatar, so why are you getting these people to recreate it shot for shot? Aren't you going to do anything new with it? And that's valid.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few minor differences, but yeah, it is one of those like, why am I watching the show again?
Yeah.
I mean, I could just watch the original show again. I have watched the original show again. It's really good.
Yeah.
Why do I want to watch this show that just seems like the same show, but like maybe a few of the shots are shuffled around here and there, and like, what do I do with that? And I don't know. I didn't hate watching it, but yeah, I was just like, okay, it's Avatar again. Sure. Maybe sometimes, and hear me out here, maybe sometimes things should just be allowed to exist and then end new bits being added onto it, and then that's it. That's the thing, right? Like, maybe we don't need to make 18 prequels and sequels to, say, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Maybe it can just exist as a trilogy of movies
It's
based on a
safe,
book
it's
that exists as a
nostalgic,
book.
and it's a confirmed IP. Then let's give it off to somebody who will then butcher it because he doesn't want to be constrained by the IP.
Yeah.
That sounds
Well,
like
the same
good
thing
logic.
happened
Uh,
with the Witcher. Eventually, it came out that apparently the writers for The Witcher actively disliked the book series and the games. It's like, well, then what the fuck are you doing writing a series about it?
that's not even the first time that happened. Did you ever watch The Hexer out of Poland? The first time it was tried to make. It used to be on YouTube for free before the licensing got on board with it. It was
I
it
did
was
not.
beyond budget. Think the worst, like the poorest episodes of Hercules before even Xena, and it was all done with these really odd, with the exception of Geralt, no one looked like who you expected to look like, and a lot of it was just shot on in a clear sound stage with just some floodlighting that would be blind covering stuff, and all this like rubber tentacles to show monsters that you'd never see. And Geralt would fight, and then it would cut back to his training in the Witcher school, and it like Vesemir looked like one of the maesters from the Citadel in Game of Thrones. Like it was one of the really old ones. All right, yeah, yeah. Now compare him to Witcher 2 and 3, and how he looked in that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Um, I do like
that's actually
talk.
one of the things.
Yeah, go on.
That's one of the things that makes me think that the Amazon 40K show might actually be good, is because, with Henry Cavill, who actually is a passionate fan of Warhammer 40,000, as the guy running the show, then it seems likely that we'll get a show that is actually going to do the things that fans would expect for a show, the people who actually enjoy 40K. And so maybe we won't get like a bunch of, I don't know, like romance plots involving Space Marines.
No
Because I'm
Space
sure the
Marine
Amazon
plot.
would love that.
All right, no Space Marine romance plots. If you show a Sister of Battle in romance, it's because she's falling to Slanesh, and it'll go badly for her. Like her face should at one point be
There,
ripped open and show other weird tentacles inside it, and she's
there
like, "I
there's
made
been
terrible
some
decisions."
non-Slanesh romance involving Battle Sisters before.
It's so vague and up in the air. You think GW will ever put put a stamp on it and go like, "Yes, they can fuck," or "No, they can't fuck."
Yeah, they already did in the Caiaphas Cain novels.
The ones that turned out to
Caiaphas
be
Cain is fucking his
Slanesh.
sister of Battle.
No, no, he goes to him and Jurgen go to a convent where they're all. It's basically Castle Anthrax from Monty
Or
Python.
actually, it might not have been Caiaphas Cain, but there's definitely a book in which there's a sister of Battle who's, or at least an Adeptus Sororitas. She might not have been one of the Orders Militant, but and yeah,
I know a
she's
Hospitaller
having sex.
can. They can hook up. I think that the consensus is I'm sure I checked this out before, but the consensus I think is that they can in theory hook up, but they're so busy praying or practicing
Yeah,
fighting or actively fighting they have no time for sex. And sex, I don't think it's even sex. I think it's just they can romance, they can fall in love, but they can't just like whip their tits
humans
out and
generally can.
yeah.
Yeah, you got responsibilities. The Emperor needs to keep you busy. There's a lot to do.
Um, but
So yeah,
I think you could have a romance novel set in the 40K setting really easily if it's just between humans. And they can be really important humans like Inquisitors and shit. But
or between Eldar.
oh yeah, that too. Hell, ooh, let's get really wild. Two high-profile chaos cult leaders.
Hey, Lilith Hesperax is confirmed to not be single.
That's true. Um, uh, or the Angron's ship captain, the one who's now probably fused to the ship. Uh,
Perfect subject for a romance novel. I fell in love with a chaos spaceship.
well, she didn't end up having a choice, but it fell in love with her, and it started to like open doors for her as she walked through the halls, and it started getting real freaked out. And then it noticed she had a lover who she liked when he was in her bed. So she came back to her room to find his body ripped apart and tied to the bed. Because the ship's like, now you'll be happy. He'll never leave the bed.
Not how it works, ship. Sorry.
Oh, your heart's in the right place, and his is a bit there and over there.
Oh, Warhammer.
I think now
Hey, Templar Warden.
I think at this point now she's still around the 41st Millennium, and I think she's the did you ever play Homeworld?
No.
Do you ever watch the Mandalore gaming video on Homeworld?
Yes.
Do you remember the really creepy DLC expansion story?
Remember that it exists. I don't remember much of the details.
If you see some of the artwork of the space traders, the ones who always say we will not be bound, their worst fear would be realized as they're fused into their own ships. That's what's happened to her. You just see her eyes looking out from this flesh and shit, like kind of like the grave mine from Halo. That's I think what's happened to her. So. But yeah, you can do romance. You could definitely. I mean, Caiaphas Cain and Amberly Vale are. They kind of are in low key in love, but you know she's a inquisitor and he's a walking billboard to get yourself blown up in a minefield.
Unless you're him, he doesn't ever get blown up.
No, and then he tries to drink away his sorrows, and Amberly has to write constant reminders in the description. Caiaphas, you're not a piece of shit. Stop it.
He kind of is, though.
He is a great example of the unreliable narrator done reverse. He's like the reverse Johnny Silverhand. He's not as bad as he thinks he is.
Right. Yeah.
He really, I mean, he ends up being a scholar in the Scholar Progenium and dies of old age. Like, he is canonically dead.
Rare fate.
Very rare fate, and one that he would have not put money on. I always wonder what happened to Jurgen. He probably was just shuffled off somewhere. I love the fan theory he'll be the one who kills Lucius the Eternal.
And then he'll just become Lucius the Eternal.
You can't, because there's no soul.
I wonder if that...
That's
I wonder if that'll count. Like...
Yeah. There's never been a recorded case of Lucius fighting a blank. So...
And the thing is, he would have to lose to the blank.
And he's very happy with losing to someone if he's having a fun time. So... Did you see that animation of him fighting the executioners? He gets captured by them, or killed by them.
No, where?
Oh, that.
Where was that?
I'll bring that up. We'll have it playing.
Must have missed that.
By the way,
yeah, Templar Warden says I don't think it'll be that easy. I don't think so either.
No. Lucius the Eternal, Hammer and Bolter.
I thought I had seen all of the Hammer and Bolter episodes. I must have missed it, I guess.
Is this
I think it's the one below that.
Yeah.
Huh?
There is this one guy, I don't know who it is, but he's very clever as he breaks down each episode. It's basically just letting you watch the whole episode. So good on him, but it's the same thing. So yeah, we'll just pop it in here. Like I said, we can't really watch the episode, but we can watch his video on it. Well, we can have it play in the background as we talk.
Right. Yeah, I must have missed this one. I don't know how I did that. I thought I had watched all the Hammer. Was there a second season I just don't know about or something?
I don't know. I will say this.
I mean, it's not like I'm shelling out for Warhammer Plus. What a stupid idea that was.
Oh, it's so bad. The
I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but
sorry, go on.
Sorry. Oh, so I feel like one of the problems that Warhammer has is that it's not an easy franchise to get into, right?
No.
Like, what's a good entry point? There isn't a good answer to what's the entry point. And so when I heard they were developing some animated series, I was like, all right, yeah, put it on like Netflix or like Amazon where people will see it, so we can be an entry point into the franchise. And they were like, well, actually, we're going to put it on our own streaming service. It's like, okay, so you have a bunch of shows that could be a great entry point into the lore for the series, but instead of putting it in a place where new people will see it, you're only going to put it in a place where only the people who are already bought it enough to give you extra money to watch your stupid cartoons are going to see it.
Why do
That
you
doesn't.
think they don't look very good?
Why?
Like, there's a reason why they are a bit slow and janky. They don't have a lot of budget because they couldn't have been able to afford a lot of budget, you know? Because no one was going to go and
Still,
watch
put
this
it
shit.
someplace. But put it someplace where they can.
Exactly.
So
I'm
that
okay.
way,
I want
a
that.
franchise that does. I would like for. I mean, like, look, Space Marine 2 has done a whole lot to make Space Marine or Warhammer much more mainstream because it broke into mainstream gaming, and it wasn't just a game that's only played by Warhammer fans. So, like, good job with Space Marine 2. But still, we need some like narrative ways to get into this because, like, every once in a while, I have someone who's like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to learn more about Warhammer," and like, where should I start? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, pick a faction. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, go watch the every faction explained video. Pick one of those factions that you like, and then pick up a novel about them.
Okay, I've heard the potential 40, just in the case of 40k. I don't know how true this would be with Age of Sigmar or fantasy, but with 40k, I think it's best broken down into two things. One, who people don't really care too much about the lore. They just go by vibes. They like Space Marines. They like Tech Priests. They like Orcs. They like Chaos. My dad loved painting Chaos Marines. He loved the Dreadnought with its it had like talons that were all like
The whip hand thing.
yeah, he loved painting that. Yeah. I was always about the Guard, and he thought they looked boring and a little too fascist for his taste. And now I kind of get where he's coming
Well, I
from.
mean, the Imperium is just a bunch of fascists.
Oh God, somewhere Sargon's just had a calyptic fit.
Oh no!
Oh, and Arch is right there with you.
I love that that Games Workshop hates Arch so much that they have in their contracts that people that they're giving their licenses to aren't allowed to send him promotional material.
Yep. By the way, though, I have to thank him for one thing. I wouldn't have got into 40k on YouTube without him, because he would make the most pedantic 40k like logistic videos that I would play while playing Hearts of Iron, and it was perfect for my autism. Now, I'm happy to say I've been on stream with Remley's from 40k, not Remley's, Naira from 40k Theories, and I talked to Remley's on Blue Sky a few times. He's pretty dope. Nice. I like Oculus, and I like Pancreas, and I like Grimdark, who what just happened to him by YouTube was a fucking disgrace, and it just all this random, all these like really big and smaller channels out there, and now I look back and I'm like, wow, that little right-wing nut job did one good thing, and he got me on better quality people. Like which includes the logistics. There's so many videos out there. Hell, Templin will have whole videos on the tyrannic war and stuff like that. So I'm happy with that. Even what's his name? The one who did with Space King, Javik. He did the Legion Symposia.
I don't think I saw that.
Like we could watch it after. We could watch it after this. That won't get us copyrighted, so I'll turn it on. But he did a crossover with them, and even he has a whole thing on the Siege of Rax. Like he's animated the whole thing. Nice. It's brilliant. But anyway, there's two types of people. There's one who just are there for the vibes, and then there are others who really will invest and time. And as Temple said, to be frank, like 40k Warhammer is a whale franchise. And yeah, like
Yeah,
you do
which is
you
which
can't
is
go
annoying.
into it poor, really. You 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 you,
Well, so
you can with the books, but then you better get ready to torrent.
yeah. So there are ways to enjoy the franchise that are not terribly expensive, right? Like, there are a lot of decent and inexpensive video games. You can get books or audiobooks for relatively cheap. Um, if you want to do so, like there's two currently supported tabletop role playing games that are. I mean, it's the same price as a normal for like a non D&D core rule book. If you want
Or
to get the core rule
homebrew.
book for those. Yeah, or homebrew. So like there are a lot of ways that you can enjoy the franchise without it becoming a gigantic money sink. However, oh boy, would Games Workshop like you to sink a whole bunch of money into every single one of their games. Like, hey, would you like to spend $2,000 to get a barely big enough army to play on a tabletop game? Of course you would. It's like, what? What would I?
Hell, like now that you can get now you can get all those packs to make like giant titans and shit like that, so you can just have around like the way Charlie has. I think he's got like a Warhound Titan or something in the background in one of those cabinets. Moist Critical. Uh,
Yeah, they
they,
go all the way up to War,
Emperor.
Warlord, don't they? With 40k scale? No, they don't go to Emperor. Not with 40k scale. Actually, I don't even think they have one for their Legions Imperialis game.
I know I saw
I
one
think
footage of someone who made it like able to move. That was pretty dope.
yeah, there's some people who doing like their own homebrew ones, but as far as I know, the last time there was actually a official Emperor Titan model that was made, it was for Epic 40,000, and I don't think there's been an official playable tabletop Emperor Titan model that's been an official model from Games Workshop since then. As far as I know, there still isn't one for Legions Imperialis. I believe the largest one is actually the Warmonger Titan, which actually, hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There is so honestly like on the topic of like how to get people into 40k, if they have genuine interest in it, do what I did and just piggyback off whoever's into it that you know, and just watch what they watch, and if they're smart, they won't just jump so much crap on you. Oh, cool.
Yeah. This is actually a gift. I have not gotten around to it because I'm still working on some sub-assemblies and whatnot for this guy.
You don't really need to read them all, it's true, but it does help, just a smidge.
If you're reading all the Warhammer books, you're going to be standing here a lot longer than it takes to read most canons of scripture for various religions.
I don't know why I want to bring this up now. Maybe just because you mentioned scripture. But did you ever see the? Do you remember the Legend of Zelda, the CD one with the really bad animations?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you ever see the guy
For the
who?
console that no one bought.
Yep. Did you ever see the guy who turned the merchant in it, who has like a grand total of 14 lines of like 14 words that he says in the entire game? He altered that in a way that it reads out the entire Bible. And it got like you could see it on YouTube, and it is I'm pausing it now just to bring it up. It is like 81 hours long. It is.
Why?
Oh, let's see. Zelda CD, right? CD.
Oh,
CDI.
CDI. Yeah.
Bible. Here it is, 83 hours long. Morshu reads the entire Bible.
and it's was so comedy and
Wow.
This might actually be the peak of all shit posting. This might, I don't, it might
Yes, it
not
might.
be, yeah, I don't, no AI. Proudly human
No
made.
AI. Good to know. Although I
Oh,
think it was automated.
yeah. Like the timestamp now, not live us here on YouTube, but as a civilization. I wonder who wrote that. Imagine Morshu had a third line. That would be the Tibetan Book of the Dead, I imagine. It would just, I don't know why. I just wanted to bring that up because it is a force of just impressiveness, like just finding the world's tallest wall outside your front door one day. Do you want it there? Probably not, but still, that's a pretty big wall. You know? Yeah, there's so much 40k lore as well that at this point now, a lot of the stuff I read in the early 2000s, like say the Gaunt's Ghost books, they're still fantastic, but you go and read modern day 40k and they almost feel like they're from two different franchises.
Yep.
And it could even be done by the same writer. And that's because their style has changed a bit over the time, but so is the style of what we want out of 40k. Like Space Marines were more aloof and frankly a lot more boring before the Horus Heresy, but now they're kind of the opposite. They're too whingy in my opinion. They're too mopey, especially the Primarchs. They're meant to be these demi-humans, and yet they're just so fallible that they kind of lose something, I think. I don't want them to be
Well, that's supposed to be.
untouchable. That's meant to be a point.
That's supposed to be part of the point. Is
Yeah.
right. Is that yeah? Like just because you're a superhuman with the genetic imprint of the Emperor, turns out that yeah, you're still a person and you still have foibles and insecurities and you know still
He's
got
fucked.
problems. And oh yeah, this guy. Just, oops.
You just fucked yourself, brother. I love it didn't translate
Oh,
it there, but he did he just said rapture before he died. Rapture. Which again is very Slanesh.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this won't.
What
this
if you
won't end.
kill the guy who killed Lucius?
Ooh.
Do you turn into Lucius before he has turned into Lucius?
I believe so. I believe now it will just piggyback. But there are apparently ways. In this earlier, they say if you're going to kill him, trick him to be on the planet, and then from orbit have a mindless servitor glass the planet. That might be the only way to kill him. But Necrons can even turn into him, because apparently a Necron Lord felt something for like all of 5 seconds after of joy after he killed Lucius, and then he turned into Lucius.
I'm gonna have to say that in that case, then Jurgen is not safe.
Like, yeah, that's the
The
thing.
Necrons
Because
don't have souls.
That's right. I love that in is it not Final Liberation? What's the one? Soulstorm or Dark Crusade, when you're attacking as the Necrons to the Chaos Fort, and the sorcerer threatens to take your soul, and then the response is like distant whispering, and they're like, your soul is gone. You know, like he doesn't know how to respond.
Yeah, it's
to
like
that.
someone already took care of that.
Yeah, a long time
That ship has
ago.
all already sailed. Yep, no more souls. They got eaten.
He gotten to eat. All right, we're gonna watch for the transformation and move on, because, well, frankly, I don't even with all this other stuff, I don't trust it. Happens as fast as as the writer wants it to.
Uh-oh.
Spaghettios. So, overall, do you have any problem with the female Custodes?
No, I don't care.
I have one problem that's nothing to do with them being women, but the way GW dropped it made me feel very sort of
Okay,
like
yeah,
if they just
that
said
was a
like
little
this
weird.
is always been canon, and we're like, no, you just want to sell more models, and that's okay, but would you just admit it? Because
I
it
mean,
hasn't been. I know there's that
it's purely
loophole, but it's a pretty vague
it's
one.
at least say it was never contradicted in canon. We never said explicitly that there weren't any.
Hmm.
You just never had a single named custodian who was not male, and you had a fair few custodians who were named throughout the entire franchise. And so like it's this thing where it's like, okay, if every member of a particular group is in one demographic, and then people assume that they're all in that demographic, it's because of the setup that you did for that group, right?
Yeah.
So if I had like an entire fantasy world, and every single one of the blacksmiths was female, and then suddenly there's a male blacksmith, and people are like, "Hey, I thought all the blacksmiths were female," and it's like, "Well, I never said that." It's like, yeah, but then again, you had like 50 blacksmith characters, all of whom were male. So like, you know,
Yeah. Do you also see it as I also see it as them kind of like testing the water for female space marines, which is very much established in canon that they can't do it.
I mean, in their announcement, or I suppose their announcement after the announcement, they said that it is canonical that only males can undergo the implementation process, and so all space marines are biologically male. So like, I don't know. I think that would be a little bit more stupid because they have made explicit statements
Yeah.
that only males can undergo the implantation process for the Astartes implants. But then again, who knows? Maybe they'll just come up with like Primaris 2. Now women can be space marines because we got even newer, more
Cole
implants.
could reverse the Tyranids effect on a world. He just went around and
Well,
de-ate it.
I mean, he terraformed a lifeless husk that happened to be the right distance from its star to support life. And like, sure, he terraformed it, or well, he said that the terraformation process wouldn't take as long as people expected, but that's just call terraforming a planet relatively fast. I don't think because remember, like when the Tyranids leave, you have a ball of rock, right?
Yeah.
And if you can terraform a ball of rock at all, then it doesn't really matter that it was turned into a ball of rock by the Tyranids or anything else.
True.
Like if you went back to like Istvan 3 and you wanted to go terraform it again, I feel like you could if you had terraformation technology in the first place, even though the Life Eater virus, like, yeah, okay. But currently it's just a ball of rock. So
yeah, after the life eater
if you can
virus is
terraform a ball of
done,
rock,
it's just turned into gas and flame and then nothing.
yeah, and then it's a ball of rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if the Imperium has the technology to terraform lifeless balls of rock, that doesn't really matter how they got that way, like the Tyranids or the Life Eater virus or cyclonic torpedoes or whatever. So
Now,
like
what
that,
about
I didn't
demon
think of
worlds?
as, like,
That's different.
that would be very different. I mean, you would have to, for one thing, close off whatever it was that was keeping the close connection to the warp, because otherwise you're just turning it into I don't know, a bigger demon world. I don't even know. Plus, like, how would you just live there and set up like a colony on a demon world?
Yeah, it's like in
But
Battlefleet Gothic when you go into the Eye of Terror and you're like, wait, hold on, you're landing troops on the plague planet. I don't think that's a good idea.
I mean, it might not be a good idea, but the Eldar go into the Eye of Terror and land troops on planets there all the time.
Yeah, just to get the Crone Worlds, to get the Spirit Zones.
Mhm.
And then they
But
immediately
those are all demon worlds,
leg it. They just immediately leg it.
right? But like, it means that like the idea of a non-warp infected ground troop operation in a demon world is not impossible, right? Like you can do it. It's not necessarily a good idea, and you might not want to set up shop in the Eye of Terror unless you want to become corrupted by chaos. But like you can drop in there.
Necrons could do it because they'd like build like pylons and shit.
I mean, I think that is the whole point of the Pariah Nexus, is to try to cut off the warp.
Yeah.
Which did you see Pariah Nexus?
I know of it. I've not seen it.
I liked it. It was like a sequel to the cinematic trailer for I think like ninth edition or something. It was a cinematic trailer for one of the editions where it was the Sisters of Battle, the Necrons, and then the Ultramarines show up. I don't know if you saw that.
Well, I thought that was the one with the salamanders and that the sister of battle, the one-armed
Yeah,
salamander.
Pariah Nexus has a. Yeah, he gets his hand chopped off during the show.
Oh,
But
oh, so that's Pariah Nexus with
Yeah.
the death mark sniper and all the Krieg that have been turned into zombies. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um.
Yeah, it's a sequel to the cinematic trailer for one of the previous editions, in which the trailer itself was Sisters of Battle, Ultramarines, and Necrons. And in Pariah Nexus, basically all the Ultramarines are already dead, and the Salamanders were sent to link up with the Ultramarines command, and that's why there's a Salamander there.
Um. I saw someone say, same for the guard. Canonically, there are 50% female guards, but the models are rare. It gets wilder nowadays. Nearly every guard model and army, like in like on like images and shit, are almost always Cadian. They used to have so much wild variety of guard, and now it's like five or
Yeah,
six. It's too uniform.
I don't like the reduction because yeah, you used to be able to get like the Vostroyan Firstborn,
Oh,
or
they're
the
those
Catachan
hats.
Jungle
Hell yeah.
Fighters, or yeah,
Hell,
and like
the Tanith first and only, they were pretty dope.
yeah. But now it does seem like yeah, no. Or you used to be able to get entire regiments of Talarn desert fighters that weren't just the guys on the horses. Like you could actually get regular old guard squads.
The
And also
Attillans.
Tirana, I do remember when. Yeah, I do remember when the Necron pariahs were still converted human blanks. Yep, I remember that. Now the only place where you can use pariahs like that, I think, is Dawn of War. You
Yep.
open up the original Dawn of War, the pariahs are still a unit.
That's the one that communicates to you and constantly tells you that you're going to die and shit.
I actually, a friend of mine had an entire full unit of the original third edition pariahs in his Necron army. I guess if you still have those models, I mean, I'm trying to think what you could use them as. Like, maybe you could use them as like proxy Triarch Praetorians. Maybe.
I don't know. You could.
I mean, if you showed up with some original like third edition Necron Pariah models, and you were like, "I'm using these as Triarch Praetorians," I'd be like, "Sure, okay, whatever, fine." I wouldn't complain at you. Now, if you try to tell me they were like destroyers or something, I'd be like, no. Wait, do you remember the original heavy destroyers with that long ass gun made of metal that was impossible to keep the entire thing straight, and so everyone's destroyer lords had all these weird twisty gun barrels because it was just made out of that soft white metal?
Oh God, yeah. Those would be
So
the ones
dumb.
you'd always get on
So
like the
dumb.
booster packs that would be on the hooks at the store, right?
Yeah, and they were always so unbalanced because they were just put on a destroyer model, which was originally the original just destroyer was an all plastic kit, right? But the heavy destroyer had a different gun arm, and that gun was the one metal part, and it's off to the side and leaning over the model, so they're always tipping over. It was a nightmare, and they were only on the flying stands, the old flying stands. So you couldn't do much to weight them down because the flying stands didn't have like a recess on the bottom, and so like, what do you do? They just tip over. And so my friend had a Necron army, and he had some of those old school heavy destroyers, and they just always fell over.
You could get like toothpicks and hold them up. They'd look like old school arquebusiers.
Yeah, it was, yeah, not great. Although I do have a soft spot in my heart for the old clear green plastic rods from the old Necron warriors.
Have they finally
rod.
have they finally upgraded the warp spiders? Are they still using the original warp spiders? Because I know that's a meme now at this point.
For the Eldar?
Yeah.
You mean for the There's a new Eldar War Spider kit that came out not that long ago.
Oh, good, because weren't
It's
they
actually pretty
using
good.
stuff like weren't they using stuff from almost like the 90s prior to that?
The Eldar still use stuff from the 90s. The Eldar grav tanks are still from the 90s.
Oh, damn. So like the prism tanks
Yeah,
and
so if you
shit,
buy a
or
Falcon or a Wave Serpent,
oh,
the Prism tank uses a new gun turret that was made in, I believe, like the 2010s, but like the actual hull is from the 90s. And if you look at the pilot model, you can tell it's a plastic model from the 90s. But also, I believe the Warwalker is also from the 90s still, and I think they're releasing a new Viper. But up until like just now, the Viper model for the Eldar was also from the 90s. The Eldar have had some of the longest running models. Also, like their jet bikes were from the 90s up until I think like 5 or 6 years ago. It was crazy.
I tried to.
So many of the current Eldar range was so old.
I tried to get some of those Eldar models, and I'm imagining that if I kept the ones I bought when I was like, I don't know, 14 or 15, I'd still be able to play with them on the tabletop today.
Mostly, you might have to rebase some of them.
Okay.
Because basically everyone has had base sizes increase, which I don't super hate. For one thing, I don't know if you noticed, but back in the 90s, Warhammer models liked to have their feet hang right off the base.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was always weird. And now basically all the models are on bases where their feet, like the base itself extends past their feet. Like if you look at the original Necron Warrior kit, each foot was only like 1/3 on the base. And they were like 2/3 hanging off the base. It was ridiculous.
What was it?
Tyrion has started playing with when Dark Eldar were still ugly, back from their original release that lasted for like 4 editions.
Yeah. I remember reading the codex for the Dark Eldar, and it was the first time I'd ever seen like a warning that reminded people that they're very pointy models and they could hurt you. So you have to watch them.
All right, I still have a scar on one of my thumbs from assembling an old metal Archon. In fact, actually, you know what? I think I have that Archon on a shelf.
Oh, damn. Are you the reason they put that disclaimer in?
Yeah.
I remember, like, when I used to play, or when I used to just watch, I never really got into the actual tabletop. I did paint. I did a bog standard beginner's like ultramarine kit and such, and I messed around with some of the others. I had like an orc war bike. I had like I said, my dad liked painting the chaos stuff. But what I always remember was everyone had nice. Everyone, I like like the color on his cape there on the back. That's pretty nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Doesn't show up super well, but you can kind of make it out. I'm pretty sure I cut myself trimming off flash on this guy.
I remember at least the one in Dublin, the store in Dublin, everyone wanted to have as many flamethrower or melted templates as possible, just so they could completely gimp the other side. Like hey, I can do damage to all these figures. Oh look, I have another guy with a heavy incinerator. You know, like
I honestly kind of think that the game has been diminished in the fun department without the templates, but I get why they got rid of them.
Yeah, like there had to be these in-house rules to be like, oh come on, mate. Like I know you're playing salamanders, but let's be real here.
I mean, to be fair, salamanders still can be used pretty effectively. If you use like the firestorm attachment or detachment with like all like the rerolls and the increase to strength to and increase to wound on flame weapons and whatnot, like you can roll up in there with some flamethrowers and just annihilate someone's line as salamanders.
Oh shit, we're actually nearly at 2 hours.
Oh yeah, we are.
I told you this would fly by. We're just a bunch of old. We're just a bunch of old taku. We didn't even get to talk about anime.
And you, And you got to see one of my old hammer models. Although this is still from the first refresh of the Dark Eldar line, so this is from when they got their current look, basically. Because like if you didn't know that this was metal, and he's a little small, but other than that, like this doesn't look too out of place with like a current day Dark Eldar army.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I still have some of my Dark Eldar, and some of my Eldar, and some of my original Firstborn Space Marines from the early 2000s.
I don't think I'll ever get back into the model side of it, but my friend Feelgood is doing Skatari with a Kill Team right now, and I've got another one who is doing
Nice.
my best friend out of Omaha. She is past few years she's been really getting to 40k for the first time, and of all the armies she picked Thousand Sons.
I mean, I like a lot of the models for the Thousand Sons with the range refresh that came in.
I suppose good
I
timing
mean,
on their part.
look, I don't know that I don't know when or if I'm ever going to play Legions Imperialis, but it's nice to have some projects to work on. So, and I mean, even if I just put this someplace on a shelf, it'll look good.
Yeah.
Although, for some reason, this did not come with a base, so I need to get a base for this guy.
Oh damn! You think you'd be able to like 3D
Yeah.
print it, or do you have to buy it?
Well, I 3D printed the base that I'm using for this guy, for my Reaver. I don't know if I'll 3D print another one. I don't know if I want to take the time to design another one, because I actually designed the base that I'm using for the Reaver. I made my own custom 3D printed base. So, because I don't know if you can tell, but like sometimes I do 3D stuff. Like,
See, it all
like
wraps around, but
yeah.
the solipsism
Actually,
strikes
if you want
again.
to see me designing the base, it is a live stream that you can look at on my Top Hats Off channel. It's my second channel where all my like art and gaming stuff is.
I have you. I have added you for this stream, but afterwards I will retroactively go and put your top hats one in the description down there as well.
Awesome.
But yeah, I guess we were aiming for about 2 hours, so we might start wrapping it up now. And you want to promote?
Sure. Let's see. So, tomorrow I've got a video coming out. It is like a 2 hour and 25-minute video. So like this is one of those like bring some popcorn, bring a drink or something. It's gonna be a nice long one. And that's going to be at noon my time. So it's 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what time it is over in like Europe. So like, sorry.
Wait, did you say 5 Eastern?
But then, no, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, okay. Well,
So like
I know
11
10
p.m. or something.
I know 10 is 5 Eastern. So just have to backtrack from that. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Okay. So then on Friday over on Top Hats Off, I've got Star Trek Adventures. Then on Saturday on my main channel, I've got Dapper Reacts, where we're still going over some of the dumbest creationists, and their attempt to understand a simple chart made for babies, which they seem not to be able to understand. It's kind of embarrassing for them. But then after that, I'm going to do the movie night over for my Discord members. But then I'm going to be up on Top Hats Off again, playing a Doom mod that a fan made for me.
Ooh.
So it is apparently a me-themed Doom mod that I'm going to be playing. Then on Tuesday, I've got a show called Jackson with Jackson, where a friend of my channel, Jackson Wheat, and I talk about the creationist, Charles Jackson. So we have good Jackson and we have bad Jackson. And yeah, that's about a week worth of content that's coming out for me. And oh, actually no, another thing is on Monday I'm going to be on Craig McNeil or FTFE's channel, along with Dr. Kip Davis, talking about Bible stuff. So if you like Bible stuff, then yeah, check that out.
As for me, I am going to crash out in a little bit. And when I am on next will be tomorrow here for Untitled Fan Favorites. We are returning to Final Fantasy VII. Krendar and Chesh will be there. Then on, I believe, where is my phone? This is where my list is. We'll get back to Cyberpunk, most likely the next day. And then we will switch between the Shipbreaker game I've been playing over on Twitch and more Cyberpunk. I hope to be finished with Cyberpunk this week. Then next week we have Magicus back here on the 27th for Final Fantasy V for UFF. And then I will put out the list of what in March will be the UFFs and what have you. Also, don't forget we're doing anime watch parties over on the Discord. All are welcome, so by all means pop in. We're going to start watching Dungeon Meshi. So, yeah. And
Alright.
oh, and Smiling Friends too. Where we should start season 2 of Smiling Friends. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. I hope you have a fantastic time. Dapper, it has been a delight. I hope to see you again.
Thank you.
And I may pick your brain on a game idea, but for now, all I'm gonna say is hope you have a fantastic time.